Oh my God.
What's up, everybody? Photography and friends. We are here for the live stream. It's May 2019. Sam, Will.
Hi.
And I'm Phil. And we're excited to start the live stream. Welcome to this edition. Excited today for a lot of reasons, but we're going to be announcing competition winners, looking at some of the weekly adventures from the past few weeks. We are also going to have a fun camera chat and live Q&A. Lots of cool stuff coming up. So chat, let us know where you're coming from. Can you hear us? Does it sound good? Will, Sam, how's it going?
No, it's good. I'm trying to.
I can hear you great.
Nice.
I'm trying to pull up all the comments so I can see people commenting. I don't know how to use Facebook though.
You have to hit the comments button.
Comments on.
You just swipe. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
That's
Now I'm out
not
of the
right.
program.
Okay.
We're just, getting
It's not a camera. I don't know how to use it.
Just getting set up over here. This is how we do it.
It gives people time to join.
Yeah, you gotta join. I know everyone's rushing away from work and everything to get here on time. So, Photography and Friends, May 2019. Looking good. Okay, cool. Well, where are you guys coming from? We got Texas, Wales. What's up, Wales?
Wales. I'm Welsh.
Israel, Poland.
At one point.
At one point.
Is your dad Welsh?
Yeah, Jones. Super common Welsh name.
Oh,
Apparently you
nice.
go there and everyone's name is Jones.
Scotland.
Very cool.
Scotland.
Scotland in the house. Nice.
Massachusetts. You say that already?
Nope, didn't say that one. So
I like
that's good.
Massachusetts.
Will,
I'm
where's
working
your
on it.
family from? Mexico?
Half is from Mexico, half is from Ireland and Scotland.
Oh, nice.
Well, through America.
Those are different places though.
Yes, those are different places.
Yeah.
Good. You're good at that.
Yeah. Okay.
we
But
got
Carnahan-
Labrador, Canada. What's up? Welcome, Philly.
Lab-
Hello.
Labrador, Canada.
Are labs from
Labrador?
Makes sense. I don't know.
They don't seem like cold weather dogs though.
Ocean Springs, Mississippi. What's up?
California.
England. Oh, we're in California.
We're in California. We're California.
We're currently in California.
We are currently in
And it's
California.
finally sunny. It's not raining anymore.
Yeah, it's raining a lot. I mean, I like the
Egypt.
rain. Wow,
Oh,
Egypt in
that's
the
good.
house.
What time is it in Egypt? It's
Yeah,
late
it's
over there.
late.
It's late, real late.
Nice.
So here's
Commitment.
here's the schedule today. We got Singapore in the house. That's even later or earlier. I don't even
Earlier.
know.
Still waiting for
Yeah.
my T-shirt, Phil.
Oh,
Says Paul.
Oh, so it's coming. If you ordered it, it's coming. I actually got a notification that there were T-shirts that were just sent, so it took a little while. Took a little while. Rainy Germany, what's up?
we're in Germany.
We're in Germany,
Rainy.
Toronto. Lots of cool people here.
Wow.
Thank you for being here.
Raptors, big win last night. That was a crazy game.
I didn't see last night's game.
Double overtime. It was a good game.
So today, just quick updates. We're going to be looking at the weekly challenge winners, the competition from last month, April, black and white photo competition. We got a fun little camera chat today, and of course, live Q&A at the end of all of it. So let's get straight to it. First off, though, top contributors, and you'll see some familiar faces here. Jim Tipton, who's going to knock him down from the throne? I do not know, because he's number one again. This is like 3 months in a row. Jim.
Although Paul's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
Paul-
just 3 more, he would have had it.
Paul, man, what were you doing last night?
Almost tipped the
Probably
scales.
watching Game of Thrones or something. But we got some other familiar faces. Wes Howes, Terry, I know you've been on there as well. Dana, you're here. I should have had last month because I don't know what the order was off the top of my head. We got Xander, Michael, Nilda, Joa,
Paul said he tried.
Tori. I mean, that's a challenge for you guys. Someone's got to not to knock Jim, because we love how much work he puts into the group, but someone's got to take over that throne, I think.
Someone's got to tip the Tipton.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 and 4, though. Really close.
Settle down,
Just
Jim.
one comment.
Jim so unfortunately, because Jim was our top monthly contributor last month, he's getting his T-shirt in the mail this month, and I don't know. Paul, you were so close to getting a T-shirt.
Paul ordered a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, okay, Paul. Oh, yeah.
He hasn't gotten it yet.
Paul's like,
He's like,
I need a T-shirt. Yeah. Well, whoever's top contributor, I'm just going to make that a rule. You're going to get a free t-shirt. So, someone's got to knock off Jim, though. So, again, thank you to everyone, even if you're not on
That's
this
so
list.
cool how much like everyone's commenting and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it's so
that's awesome.
proactive.
Yeah. So, thank you. All right, so next up, we're going to be looking at the photos that were most liked from our past weekly challenges. So again, if you're new here, these are just the weekly challenges we post every Monday. I think there was a week we skipped accidentally earlier in May, but just challenging you to go out, take a new type of photo. So for this photo, which was taking a photo of a road, we got Fair Balderas, who had the most liked photo.
It's a rad shot.
Yeah, nice photo,
Epic
huh?
photo.
Nice colors, great clarity.
Yeah, the color palette's crazy. It like has a big range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good contrast.
Where is that, you think?
Nice little.
Did they say where that was?
I'm gonna say Eastern Europe.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea, but
Fair, if you're online, where was this? It's definitely snowing. Nice
classy,
trees.
classy watermark too.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I like that
Doesn't
one.
take away.
you think he went between the highlighted area and the shadow area?
On
Or her?
purpose?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if there's.
Yeah.
like the exposure?
Well, no, because the watermark on the,
Oh, the
on the
watermark.
right side, that's
Oh.
the bright side of the frame. It's less distracting.
Yeah.
Left sided really pop out, but maybe be too distracting.
I would guess
so.
that they probably put their watermark on this. Ideally, put it in the same spot every photo. I would say, and maybe that's just where it ended up. But it looks good there. I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, it's honestly kind of hard to read, but that's fine. Speaking of watermarks,
Yeah.
So Fair, thank you so much. So the next challenge, let's get to that, was nature photo.
Ooh.
So beautiful nature. Balaram Devineni, thank you so much for posting this. This one got way more likes than a lot of the other photos, but I did notice in the past few weeks more people liking and contributing to the weekly challenges.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's from last month when we did this for the first time, but yeah, thank you for posting, and make sure you're liking the photos.
Do you know off the top of your head what the weekly challenge is?
This week this one's a little bit more difficult because it's taking from the sky. I mean, you could get creative though. It doesn't have to be like a drone or aerial shot. You
You
could
could just be high up.
Get up on a bridge.
yeah, from the sky though.
Well,
That's
maybe I should submit one.
and I also
Are we allowed to submit ones? Can
heck
we submit
yeah,
ones?
of course.
Oh, okay.
I've posted some.
No one's gonna like it.
yeah. But I have noticed, and this is just how it goes, is that the earlier you post, generally, the more likes they're going to get. So a lot of these photos that got the most likes were some of the ones that were posted early on, and that's just how the game is played.
That
So
makes sense.
you got to be on it early in the week. And I'm sure there's people just waking up Monday morning just like, oh, I can't wait
waiting.
for the weekly challenge
I'll
from
post mine
Phil,
right now.
Will, and Sam. So Balaram, thank you so much for this photo. We got one more. This was a very close one. This one
Whoa.
came very close to another one, but Ralph Kinzel for
cool.
a minimalist photo. This one came out pretty good. I mean,
Trump
this
has
one
white hairs.
this one could have been done for a lot of different
It could be
competitions.
black and white competition.
Yeah, seriously. But this was a
Wow.
good one.
It's amazing how much that wedding ring adds to that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you like how much of the trunk is taking up the frame?
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it's
That's a
when you put the human size to the elephant size.
yeah. That's what it's about.
Any photo with a full elephant and full human would be the same ratio almost.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it could have had more hands.
I feel like
or arm.
it gives more to the imagination. Like, an elephant is giant compared to a human, and so I feel like that kind of you know what I mean? Like, this is just like a cropped photo of in your head what could be like a photo that's
Yeah.
huge. So I feel like that it adds a really nice mental, physical, spatial size.
I don't think I've ever seen such a detailed photo of a trunk. I've never seen the hair
Yeah, that's
The
pretty
hair
cool.
follicles.
Yeah. That's very
Wow,
cool.
Cool photo.
Yeah,
Nice.
Very cool.
Have you guys watched the Our Planet on Netflix?
Oh no, I keep
I started
seeing it. I keep
watching
meaning
it.
to. Is
It's
it good?
pretty good,
Is it visually
absurd.
stunning?
It's amazing.
I mean, I
The
love
shots
it.
that they got are
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I watched Planet Earth. I watched a lot of those, and it's, I mean, very similar, but it's cool just seeing like new story, like new animal stories. It's just like,
and the way the images are just beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way they're
Yeah.
capturing that stuff, that's cool.
it's insane. So thank you everyone for posting your photos every week. So there's a new challenge coming up.
Should, just out of curiosity, if people that post earlier get the most likes, to announce the photo challenge on like a Friday so people then have the weekend to take the photos? Because if you post on Monday, most people won't have time to take photos until the weekend.
It's not a bad
Then they
idea.
post. I don't know. Just an idea.
Maybe we should post a poll in the group and see what people want to do.
Love Pulse.
Do love a good poll.
All right, next up we got the black and white competition. This was, we ran it a little bit differently this month, or which it happened in April. First, it was open to everyone in the group. Normally it's just been open to people in the photography masterclass. So we had a lot more people submitting photos. And second, this time we experimented with having basically the vote be determined by you guys. So after the competition ended, people got to vote, and the top liked photo is got gold, silver, and bronze prize. So we left it up to you. So we're gonna go through the top 3 photos. And I forgot, we do give a participation prize. We'll do that. If I could set it up, we'll do it later during the live Q&A or something. So, though, the winners, and we'll be contacting you through messages or through Udemy to give you guys your prizes. So we'll start with the bronze prize. This is third place with 432 votes.
Whoa.
Philippe Vieira. Beautiful photo of some trees.
The depth is cool.
I don't even know that's like an aqueduct, or I don't know what that is, actually.
It's got to be some sort of aqueduct,
Waterway
or river, and like or creek.
Some countries actually put money into like having nice
Beautiful.
nice
like,
parks and things. Yeah.
with water going through it. Look at that. Is that a person in the
It looks like
background?
it's like
Yeah.
a couple sitting having a picnic.
Nice. Yeah.
The lighting's so cool. This is why I love black and white. Just
Yeah, the contrast.
yeah, when you have contrast like that.
Yeah. Nice.
It's,
What about you guys? What do you guys think about these photos? Comment in the comments. We'd love to know.
that's so cool too. There's like a little walkway across.
Yeah. It's like that. I'm guessing, I'm 99% sure this isn't in the U.S. because
Right, someone would sue.
someone
because
would
they
sue.
slip
Yeah,
on-
that would not be allowed
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely.
But it's like, why? That's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that was third place. Philippe, congrats for our second place photo, which was so close
This
to
is so cool.
Wow.
Utkarsh
I like that
Singh.
one a
This
lot.
one is like, I don't even know what that is. Is that?
It's got to be like a spire or like a tower or like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really
almost
cool.
like it could be like at the very top of a building or like at the top of a tower and then looking up
Yeah.
without. Yeah. I just love how it shoots your eyes. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like my eyes are on a roller coaster. It's like. "Whoa."
Yeah, I love this one.
Well,
That's
and
really
the
cool.
added plane.
Yeah,
you know,
you even notice that? The
do you
plane.
know there's a plane over that flies
I
that
didn't even
typically?
notice
You didn't see
that,
that? That's like the
no.
best.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just
That's cool.
yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that just made it a million times better.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Utkarsh, thank you so much for participating.
How many pictures? How many images do you think they took of that?
Oh, it's a Polish sculpture of pride after World War II. Very
Wow.
cool.
Even cooler.
Even cooler.
Good story
And then it
behind it
adds
too.
like to new heights. So it looks like a rocket too.
Even the fact
perspective, it looks like it's going vertical opposed to
Even the fact
us looking up.
that there's like a modern plane too, and it's like a World War II sculpture.
And I like that it's off center. I mean, it would be one thing to
Yeah.
try to make it perfectly centered, but it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, I think.
And it adds. I mean, the off centered's helped by the plane because that's perfectly parallel with the edge of frame.
Yeah.
So it almost like corrects it, and then how the thing turns at the last moment. It's a great photo.
Cool. Well, congrats, Utkarsh. We'll be reaching out for your prize. And our number one winner, Andre Tenas, with 604 votes.
Man, 604.
Big jump.
Big jump from first to second place.
It's incredible how different each of the photos were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there were 2 landscapes.
There were so many photos that were so stunning from the black and white competition. really what I want to do potentially is next time, I think this worked, having it on, running the competition this way, but it'd be great to just be able to share all the photos that were submitted.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
And that's what we've done in the past, where we've created the album in the Facebook group. But as long as we get the okay from everyone, and maybe that's just part of, if you submit a photo, we're going to be posting it and sharing it in the group as well. But it'd be nice to be able to share all the photos so people can check them out, because there were some really amazing ones.
I love how contrasty this one is and the gray background.
Yeah, I don't know where this is, but
I love looking at landscapes like this in black and white too.
Yeah.
So much definition.
Very cool.
So what do you guys think? We're going to be, this again was the first time we did the competition this way, where we left the vote up to you, and also where everyone can participate. I think that's the best part, is that everyone could participate, and I feel like the process was a little bit easier for people to submit their photos than what we did before. In terms of the voting and everything, I kind of like this idea too, where we leave it up, but let us know what you think. And this also allows us, it was a little bit easier for us this time, a little less time consuming. We could potentially do more competitions. We were doing them every 3 months or so, but maybe we should do a competition next month. Maybe we'll do a poll.
Sure.
I think another
More
poll is
polls.
in order.
Yeah.
We need more polls.
If you have ideas, though, for what you think next month's or the next competition should be, post in the comments, and we'll create a poll with some of the popular ideas and leave it up to the group to decide what the next competition should be. I think the black and white competition was a result of one of our polls.
Yeah.
So.
The weekly challenges, there's been a lot in there where I see the people posting photos and they're like, man, this could be one of our main competitions.
Yeah, for sure. No, I know. And that's kind of, we could even, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's good to have both, but there's a lot of good ideas in there too. So yeah, make sure you post your ideas in the comments. All right, so next up on the docket is our monthly camera chat. And this month's camera chat, let's bring it up on the screen, is when to upgrade.
Why are we talking about when to upgrade, Phil?
We're talking about when to upgrade because Will and I were looking into the Fujifilm X-T3. We both have the X-T2. The X-T3 came out last year, at the end of the year, and at the time it wasn't like really worth it for us to upgrade, I didn't think. But there have been some firmware upgrades that made the autofocus even better, and there's a few reasons why it is a little bit better of a camera. And so for us, it's just kind of a personal choice, like when is it a good time and when does it make sense to upgrade? But then there's a lot of people in the group just always asking, okay, what camera should I upgrade to? They're using a basic DSLR, they're upgrading, they're asking about what camera to upgrade to. So yeah, I just wanted to chat about like what do you guys think is a good reason to actually upgrade your camera gear? And it could be even lenses too, camera.
I think for me, when the technology moves to a point that will make my job significantly easier, for me, that's a lot of the case. And then also like, yeah, or there's something I can't do without that certain piece of technology.
Yeah.
And I haven't really, that doesn't hit that often for me, I guess, but I'm typically pretty up to date with stuff. The reason I like the X-T3 at this point is because the focus is a little bit better. The autofocus is a little bit better. And you guys have seen me shooting headshots lately, and the X-T2 is great, but it is like a little slow. Like I do miss like a decent amount.
Yeah.
But, also you have to take hand in hand like the cost. And I think we were talking about it because we found an X-T3, a used X-T3 for like $1,200.
Yeah.
Which is cheaper than what I bought the X-T2 for.
Yeah, it's like the same price basically as
and
the
it's just the
X-T2,
body. And I already have everything else. I just need the body. And
Yeah.
so it becomes cheaper. And then also like when I shoot events, it's nice to have two cameras so that when you're upgrading, like not to like lose your original camera, but either you have two cameras to shoot, which is helpful if that's what you're doing, or like what you would do, selling your older equipment, which makes the new camera cheaper to buy if you're
Yeah.
trading in, and you'll still get better images, and life will be easier and all that stuff. So there's so many things to weigh, I guess. I don't know.
All right, before I respond, Sam, what do you think? And what do you guys think? Post in the. I saw someone posted
someone
it
had a comment. Yeah,
when my wife lets me. That's like really ultimately when we get all.
that's a very
upgrade.
good. Yeah, it's. I don't think there's ever gonna be, without your camera breaking, or you know that you have a bunch of work coming up, and the camera you have is going to slow you down, prevent you from working as fast as you want to be able to. You're trying to do more that your camera doesn't allow you to do. Like if there's a very obvious reason, then yeah, it's time to upgrade. But when it's, my camera gets, you're still able to get the headshots you want to take.
Yeah.
And you're still getting great results from the camera. And instead you went, and I know recently got a new lens. And
Yeah.
like what a new lens allows you, and how much, especially people shooting with kit lenses, like go get a beautiful prime lens.
Yeah.
And your world changes. Like it might not be as fast or whatever it is, but it's going to the quality is going to improve greatly between your kit lens and that prime lens that you get. At the same time, with where you're at, you have an amazing selection of lenses.
Mm-hmm.
And you do video work.
Mm-hmm.
XT2's okay with that, but XT3's really good from what I understand. And so
Great, even.
yeah, so like there's those reasons at play there,
Yeah.
But I think for each person, like you have to take in, pros and cons list. Make a little list.
Yeah.
How much money is it going to spend? How much disposable income do you have? Go through all those things.
Well, I want you guys to think about the last time you guys upgraded a gear and where it was really worth it, and then maybe when it didn't make much of a difference and it wasn't worth it. And for everyone, I also want to hear, we have some great comments about that we'll read out about when upgrading is a good idea. Tell us when you made your last upgrade and when was it worth it and why was it worth it. The thing that I kind of hear from both of you, though, that I appreciate, and I think everyone should appreciate, is that you didn't mention that you should upgrade because the next camera is going to make you a better photographer.
Oh, no.
It's going to help you take better pictures. You talked about how it would help you, like, make it easier for you, make your job easier for you.
Yeah.
So there's things like that where, like, yeah, if the focus is better or faster, that's going to make taking headshots a little bit easier for you. Maybe you talk about lenses. Yeah, again, a lens might focus better. It might look. I guess there are some cases where the look is going to be better than like a kit lens, but maybe it's lower light. And
It's lower. I mean, I think my last upgrade was the lens he was talking about. Like, so I have a 56, I have a 23, I have the like big long 40 to 120 for my Fuji X-T1. These are all cropped also. And I was using my kit lens that I got with my X-T1 on my X-T2 when I would shoot events, because that was like my wide, because I just not wanted to buy a wide prime.
Yeah.
And I had a big event with a big company, and I knew it was going to be low light, and that kit lens is an f4. Like, the millimeter's fine. It's an f4, and I was like, man, I think it's time that I have like a zoom kit medium range lens to help me get through that job specifically.
Yeah.
And I'll use it in the future. And the thing with upgrading lenses too is like glass is like, I can still use that on the next T3 that you buy, or like, you know what I mean? So like the glass will go on for longer than the camera will.
Yeah.
So that's why I finally like just bit the bullet, and I've been avoiding buying that lens and bought the, what is that? I don't even remember. It's the 16 to...
I don't know what you got.
Yeah,
it's, it's like the 24 to 70 of
16
Fuji's.
to 24 or something?
2.8.
No,
yeah.
16 to 35.
Something
Okay,
like that,
yeah.
18 to... But also, I mean, the last time that you really made a big jump, though, you were shooting Nikon,
Yeah.
and you had like a D300S as your last Nikon?
Yeah, that was the last
And you went from that, and then you were just...
And then I used your cameras
through
for like
your
3
work,
years.
yeah, you're using my D800 and stuff, and then you upgrade to the XT1, and like you've built your system around that camera because you love the Fuji system.
Yeah.
You've gone great lenses with it, and you're in that environment. I think the biggest, whenever I see someone posting like, should I switch from Canon to Sony, I'm like, oh, like you spent like at least $1,000 or $500 on this
building that
thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, do you really want to completely switch it? And that's the hardest thing, I think, when people are considering that, because there are benefits of having a full frame mirrorless. There's also, you know, times when having, you know, the quickness of the XT1. But for work, the only time I think it's worth making the big jump was when I was working with event photographers, and these people are shooting on Mark IV 5Ds or on, you know, nice cameras, but the
professional
professional
camera, yeah.
but the buffer time was too slow. The environments we'd be in, it might be raining one day. It might, like, you don't know what you're walking into. You have to be ready for anything. For them.
Yeah.
And so they all upgraded to 1DXs. You know, they went from a $5,000 camera to $8,000 camera, and it's completely worth it though.
Yeah.
Because they're able to take 500 raw photos back to back to back.
Yeah.
And never stop. Fast autofocus. Like, they need that.
Yeah.
If you're not doing events, if you're not doing sports, like, professionally, you don't need to spend that money. Like, spend your money on glass.
Yeah.
It's so much more worth it, in my opinion. And yeah, that's. Yeah.
Well, any good comments from?
Some people. Aaron says he added a nifty 50 and love it. It kind of forces him to think differently about his shots, where he has to frame and shoot. I think that upgrade is like, what he's talking about there is like not just a technical upgrade, but like a creative upgrade.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
going from a kit lens to a prime lens and forcing you or making you be a little bit more creative, I think is a worthwhile upgrade to have.
Yeah.
Other people.
That last comment.
I've changed from Canon to Sony. It was the best move in my life. The Sony A7 III is just brilliant, and the 24-70 2.8 GM is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm challenging myself to so much better than before my older camera.
What was your old Canon camera? I'm just curious
Yeah.
for that person.
Canon to Sony. So some Canon to an A7. You want to take bets? I bet it was a Rebel.
I bet it was like, a T6i or something, or
He's
a
gonna
T-
be like,
T3i.
5D Mark IV.
Zeta. Yeah. What was
I mean,
it?
that's the other thing is too, is like, this is like not necessarily the best reason to upgrade, but when it forces you to be more creative or just excites you to go out and take more photos.
Oh, yeah, we talked
I mean,
about
that's
that
like
with
with
Fuji,
me
yeah.
with the Fuji.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking my Canon 70D out ever to take photos. I like rarely would. I would take it out on vacations, on trips and stuff, but now, like the Fuji, I just have it in my dining room every day. I'm pulling it out to snap photos. So, I mean, obviously there's also some reasons because I have kids now and I'm always taking pictures of them to document that kind of stuff. But it also, I have it out too, and I'm trying to get shots, just creative shots too. So that's not the best reason to upgrade.
No,
though.
I think that's a. And like I had the
fair reason.
D300, or I was borrowing Sam's D800 for a long time, and I wouldn't want to like take it out with my friends to the bar because it was so huge.
Yeah.
And like getting a Fuji is not necessarily an upgrade because I think even the XT1 was like only 16 megapixels or 12 megapixels compared to that D800, which is like a million. It's not like that much of an upgrade, but like now I felt like I could take it with me everywhere I went, and that to me was worth.
And that's the
having a
technology
camera,
jump.
yeah.
It was going from DSLRs to mirrorless was a massive jump in camera technology.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm guilty. I went from a Nikon to a Canon to a Sony, completely changing systems. But at the
You're
same
not
time,
gonna talk about your Leicas?
well, I was just gonna say actually,
Yeah.
to this day, my Sony is a workhorse. It's my professional working camera. I can do video on it. I can take great photos that are high megapixel. But that Leica is my favorite camera. I love having a fixed lens. I can't do anything. It forces me creatively to be like so much beyond.
It's so
amazing
small, too.
glass,
Yeah.
super small, silent.
The glass is the best part
That's
of that camera. I think.
it's the glass, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's fixed. I'm never going to upgrade that camera. I'm never going to change it.
Never.
And I don't want to.
And more,
Although the Q2 came out,
yeah, he's been saying
Exactly, that's what
but
happens.
even the more new cameras that come out, like it's not going to diminish the quality that your old camera is capable of doing. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just because there's a better camera doesn't mean that old camera is not going to take good images still.
video is the one thing that does change.
Yeah.
I think photo, if you shoot 12 megapixels or higher, you're good.
Yeah, that's the thing is like looking back and it's like, well, I could have taken the same, very similar or same exact pictures with my old camera, but I don't know.
I use my friend's Pixel 3 or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
the Google phone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that can take just as good photos as my Sony.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I mean that's the problem is like too like going out. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna take
You got
my
your
phone.
phone,
Yeah, I don't need it.
Zeta had a Canon 700D.
Yeah, that's the T5i.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's a significant upgrade.
That is a pretty good upgrade. I mean, lots of like from focus to the size of the sensor,
To the
low
A7,
light,
Weight or
weight.
size.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So
Cool.
one last thing about the upgrades, Sam. I just want to know, out of these bags of rice, which would you upgrade to?
Is that right?
well, that's wild rice. You have to go with the basmati white rice
Which one?
because
Is there a wet A7 inside?
All right, but we're talking about, your standard basmati white rice. We got your brown rice up here. You got the wild rice. When you're out and you're about to fall into a waterfall, which one do you really want to have?
When I go on jobs, I bring the Japanese sticky white rice because it absorbs the most liquid.
This is like a real.
I think I don't know who made the comment last time, but I really hope he's on right now.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, "What the heck are you guys talking
Listen,
about?"
Has anyone had to use a bag of rice yet? Because someone's going to come one day with a story of like, oh, the bag of rice saved my life or my camera. And
It's pretty good.
You just never know, though. You gotta have the right bag when you're out there. So
do. And the right.
we're gonna get to live Q&A now. So, anyways,
Phil's having way too much fun with the program.
this is the only time I get to hang out with my friends, guys. So, live Q&A. Let's hit it, guys. So if you have questions for us, if you're joining us now, I saw a couple of people joining us a little bit late. Welcome to the program. You can watch the replays of these,
I think a lot of people do.
So if you're wondering about rice and why it's important to have for every photographer,
Go
back to
the
March.
rice episode.
I think that was March.
Sam had to put
I'm
his
going to
camera
take
in
you
a bag of rice
guys
'cause it went
on a
underwater.
hike, and we're going to go up to a waterfall. I'm just going to push you both in with your brand new XT3.
We'll all just dunk our cameras into the water.
Well, ours are weather sealed, so you never know.
Well, I think the A7 was too.
Oh, yeah, it's
It's
not going to
not?
last. It's not going to last.
It's weather resistant or something.
Yeah, no, ours is, I think, more weather resistant
Here we
than
go.
everything.
Should we do a test?
No,
We got our
I
first-
don't have that much money.
We got our first question, which is a pretty standard one. Mirrorless cameras, yes or no?
This is just, our monthly edition of
Of
mirrorless
mirrorless versus DSLR.
mirrorless versus DSLR.
It
There's
depends.
benefits.
Yeah.
Some of them are smaller. Not all of them are smaller, though. The lenses can be smaller, so yes. Maybe.
They
Depends.
can be
Depends.
cheaper.
I mean, but
So you can shoot silent.
Oh
They
yeah,
shoot
there's
Yeah,
Events and
silent.
stuff is really, really nice.
they're lighter weight if you're shooting a wedding for 10 hours
Or for traveling.
and for traveling. So yes, maybe
that's
it
the
depends
way
on what you're doing.
That's the way camera manufacturers are going.
They're moving
I
towards
feel like they're all
mirrorless, yeah.
putting more effort into mirrorless. So yeah, maybe that's another reason to go mirrorless.
I did just clean my mirrorless camera sensor for the first time.
That's
That's
you
like
did it. You were supposed to tell me when you were doing that.
it's a big complaint
You're
of people
so
that the
nervous.
mirrorless ones get dirty and dust on them a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I've found that to be true.
Your
And
sensor's okay?
I think. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, we got
It's
some
just
other
terrifying.
questions.
But mirrorless, I would say go mirrorless.
To zoom or not to zoom? I'm debating between a prime versus a zoom wide-angle lens and was hoping you guys could provide some insights. If I'm going to use my lens mainly for landscape and astrophotography, I would rather crop the photos in post than get a cropped view in the moment of the capture. Is there an angle that I'm not considering? Thoughts?
Well, if you're just planning to crop in, you're gonna lose quality compared to actually zooming in with a lens.
Yeah. I just made this decision because when I was getting the upgrade I was talking about earlier, the Zoom 16 to whatever, I was thinking about getting your
16.
16 prime.
Yeah.
Because I did need a wide angle lens. But for me, and again, this is all very specific to what you do, is I am doing events and stuff, and so having the addition of the zoom helps me out a lot.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting the 16, which I wanted for landscapes and astrophotography, which I've used it for now, I still get the benefit of the rest of the lens. But
Yeah.
that's for me, and it was a little bit more expensive, which is kind of a bummer. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just depends. Like I think he said what they're just doing mostly landscape and astrophotography.
I mean, those are situations where you don't have to be like quickly zooming in and
Yeah.
out, but like you're definitely like having a zoom. You're physically, the lens is like, it's not losing quality in terms of like
Pixels. Yeah.
by zooming in.
Or
So
cropping, yeah.
there's probably going to be situations where you might want to zoom in, but I don't know. I think Sam also has a different
You
opinion.
like
No,
wide. I mean,
I love wide.
you like landscape wides on a zoom though, don't you?
I like landscapes with telephotos the most.
Right. That's what I mean.
But I think for this at least, a zoom 16 to 35 or the equivalent for a crop sensor is 10 to something, is a great lens. And if you can get something that's f4, f2.8, yes, you're doing mainly landscape and astrophotography, but you can also use that 35 end for other types of photography, and it's a bit more versatile. It is bigger, so if you're trying to go for something smaller, that's why I go prime. But so it depends what else you have in your kit. I love primes. Yeah. I think primes are so much better, but I do think the one place primes and zooms quality of optics get closer is in the wide angle side. I think in telephotos, primes no doubt are better than telephoto zooms, but for wide angles, I think the zooms are cool.
Yeah.
But it's also the debate of like, if you have a prime lens, you have that's your frame.
Yeah.
You know, especially astrophotography. You're not going to walk closer to the stars.
That's true. If you haven't done so already and you're watching right now, smash that like button to let us know if you're liking this this live stream or not. We really appreciate you being here live with us, or if you're watching the replay, and you hitting that little like button helps us know if we're doing the right thing or not. So thank you so much.
Now, Aaron says, now that I have all three of you, can you explain exposing for the highlights?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is
I
a
like
good
that.
question. That's a Sam question.
I always say that
Yep.
in my comments on photos.
Yeah, or like we probably said it in the course and they're like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
So exposing to the highlights, or exposing to the shadows. It's like, what does that mean?
See, and I'm realizing this might be a stylistic choice, but for me, it's ingrained in my head that I always expose for the highlights. I don't want anything in my frame to be blown out white if I can help it.
Yep.
Which means that I take a photo, maybe my meter's right in the middle, but there's really bright highlights and like dark shadows or even shadows that look, you can see us, but this white wall is completely blown out. I'm going to expose to this, allow the shadows to fall off more, allow maybe pockets of darkness to be completely black.
Yeah.
But that looks so much more natural to my eye than the shadows and everything having definition and just this like white sky of nothingness or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I guess like a good explanation is when you're exposing to the highlights, what we're saying is you're trying to get good exposure to
the brightest part
of the
image.
Frame.
Yeah.
And I think there's a technical benefit of that, is that just generally with cameras, you can bring up the shadows in post easier than bring down the highlights. And if your highlights are overexposed, then that information is completely lost. And it's gone. And that's, I mean, you can do the same with blacks too. You can lose the blacks, but there's just a lot more room, I feel like, with darks, with the shadows to bring up, and you don't lose it as easily as losing the highlights.
And this is mainly when it's say of like making sure that all highlights are there. It's mainly when you're like outdoors and stuff. I think if you have a lamp or light in your frame, it makes sense that would be completely bright. How it falls off is more so what's important.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not like every time, but I just see these certain photos where I'm like, man, if you just expose to the highlights, it would look natural still because that place is in a dark corner. It's meant to fall off into the shadows.
I mean, think about like I'm just looking outside, right? Behind the camera is like the outside in my backyard. And when you look at something, it's not like something's like pure white. Your eyes just automatically expose to the highlights, basically.
Yeah.
So it would be weird if I was looking at like my hand right here and the background was like pure white. That would
Yeah, it'd be a
One
total
thing natural.
stylistic. It'd be
Yeah.
a total stylistic choice. Like the only reason to blow out the highlights would be for style.
yeah.
I think.
Which I've seen beautifully done. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
That
like
was
this
so
isn't
much
an
knowledge
absolute-
bombs right there. Good job, guys.
Good question, Aaron. Yeah, if you got any more. Paul says, I think Sam is brilliant. I carry a bag of rice just because of him.
Yes! Thank you.
Do you all
Thank you,
prefer
Paul.
bringing one camera with multiple lenses or two cameras with two lenses for shooting events?
Oh, I think
That's both of us.
Yeah, I don't really do that. So, but I would prefer 2 cameras with 2 lenses.
When I shoot events, I have two cameras with two lenses.
like a telephoto and then a wide or something.
24 to 70 and 70 to 200.
I've never done it. It seems like
I know-
it'd be really
I know you
nice.
don't.
It seems like it'd be great.
It's
When shooting events though, like I know or I try to know and plan as best I can when certain things are going to happen and that I have the right lens on my camera for that time. I've missed things because of this. I've had a wide angle when I wish I had a telephoto. And that just means I have to run really far and try and get the shot still.
But he doesn't mind working like that.
Yeah.
And
And
it's so
maybe
funny-
I'm spinning my wheels. I don't know.
I don't
but-
know, but it's really funny when you and I shoot video stuff or you're directing and I'm the DP because we always inevitably have the discussion of like, should we get prime lenses or should we get zoom lenses? And we're always battling this, and then we always end up getting prime lenses.
Well, if I'm directing, we end up getting prime lenses, and if it's your thing, we end up getting zooms. But no, it's. I mean, most people I know have. Well, actually, it's kind of weird. Most wedding photographers I know have 2 cameras.
Yeah.
Most event photographers I know have 2 cameras, but they only go around with one, and they just switch lenses. And the second camera is more of a backup in case their first one goes down.
I see.
Which is a good reason to have a backup, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about our horror stories in the past, so.
Yeah.
When I was a second shooter for a wedding, I was covering for someone like 6 months ago, and we were both there. And at that point, I stuck on my primes most of the time and my zoom because I knew that he was over there shooting wide and mid range, and then I was shooting long lens.
So backup
Is
camera
this-
or backup photographer?
So backup person. Yeah.
But this is a whole nother thing that we're getting into of your style and your approach
Right,
to
right, yeah.
photography. This is how you comfortably work, how you want to operate. You know the shots you want to get, and how are you going to achieve getting those? Will it be with a 24 to 70 and 70 to 200 that you can quickly go between the two, or is it setting up shots, saying here, come over here, I want to get this thing with my prime, I'm going to take a bit more time with it. Yeah, it's different approaches.
All right.
Killed
Good
it.
answers. Mirrorless cameras, don't prove time. This is a video production one. This is a
okay.
friend's question. Should we do it?
Yeah, sure.
Are there plugins that can get rid of a flickering, shiny guitar string in post on Premiere Pro that you know of? That seems to me like it's a flare, not like a,
No,
like a
like-
reflection.
No, maybe like when they strum, like the
Lights
vibrating
hitting
of the thin strings
Like
causes a
it.
moire effect.
Is that it?
Nope.
Or is it just like if there's a light shining on it and like still like the strumming or just the movement
That's what
like
it sounds like.
shines like it looks super bright?
I don't think so.
I mean,
There's
what you could-
really expensive plugins.
what you could do is like try to bring down the whites or the highlights and see if that just makes that less distracting. You could even go so far as creating a mask of just that part of the video frame and bring down the highlights or the whites and see if that helps. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it. So
It says just shining all the time.
Oh.
yeah, it's probably
It's
just
just a
bringing
light.
down the highlights and
Oh,
the
yeah, try
whites would
bringing down the
probably
highlights.
be the best thing to do. Just color correction. So
Or just embrace it as the style of the shot.
Crank the highlights.
Yeah.
I have a Nikon D5600 with an 18 to 55 lens and a 70 to 300 lens. Any other lenses you recommend? This is just going to go back to like
35 millimeter prime.
Yeah, this is going to go back to what you're shooting and what you're doing, but I say those seem like relatively
Kit.
beginner kit type lenses. Like that 70 to 300 I think is an f4.
F4.5 to 5.6.
Yeah, so those are like, and the 1855 is definitely a kit lens.
Yeah.
So I would say something fast, 35.
A 35 prime, 50 prime, 24
Yeah.
to 70, 2.8.
Those are like
Those
the standard.
one
like,
of those
I think
three.
the 35 like f2 or f2.8 is like a pretty cheap Nikon lens that you can get started with.
The Nikon 35-1.8.
Is that cheaper?
It's a crop sensor one. It's small. That's my first prime. I love that lens.
That would probably be the next lens to get you going in like a more professional.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
for portraits. A 35
Yeah.
prime on a D5600 is more like a 52, so it's good portrait, low light, all that.
Aaron says thanks about the highlights question. Working on that. Getting into food photography. You guys think the macro lens is compulsory? So far, I'm just using my 35 millimeter.
Are you happy with your 35 millimeter?
I think it just depends on like the style. Like a macro lens will allow you to get like the detail
yeah.
of whatever you're doing, but
If you want to show the actual detail, like really get in to see the detail, not the
drop
whole dish,
of
then
yeah.
yes, you should get one. But if you're not doing that,
But if you get macro, you can do both.
Yeah.
yeah, you could do
Macro, you can do your
both.
normal looking
That's
shots.
But I'm just saying you don't need to buy one if you don't want to do that. That's the only reason to do that.
I mean, it makes sense though if you're really getting into food photography to have it as an option.
Our food thing,
Yeah.
if we didn't have diopters, which is a fancy way to make a normal lens a macro, those are my favorite shots.
Yeah, those are the best shots. We did this like food video thing, and like I had primes, but we used glass filters that like tripled or quadrupled or something,
Yeah.
and made every lens I had into a macro lens basically. But again, that was for the edit. We needed to use the detail for the edit in the video. So if you're not like necessarily needing to see those in whatever menu or website you're creating, yeah.
Before we get to the next question, if you want your own Photography and Friends shirt, or there's sweatshirts too, go to
There's
videoschoolonline.com/store. It sounds like it takes a few weeks to arrive. Paul said he hasn't gotten his yet, but if you did make an order, I know a few people have, and you haven't received it yet, send me a message or just post it in the group, and I'll check it out. We run it through teespring.com, which is like one of the best vendors that helps people create shirts and stuff. So
Teespring.
yeah, not sponsored, but yeah, if you want to get a shirt, and once you do get a shirt, make sure you post it in the group and show off your pride for being a part of this amazing community of photographers. And thank you to everyone again for just being a member. We're going to get to more questions for another 10-15 minutes. So post your questions if you have any other ones. But just want to say thank you again to everyone who's a member. Thank you for making this a positive community for beginner photographers. Of course, if you're in the group, you see people who... last week, for example, there was someone who posted... I'd say naughty post, and we kicked them out of here because we want this to be a family-friendly place for all photographers. So if you ever see anything, say something, just report it to us, and if there's any other ways we can make this a better community for you, let us know. We also hope that, as we talked about last month, that beginner entry photographers feel like this is a place for you. And we know that it can be a little bit intimidating for people if you see all these amazing photos that other people are posting, but don't let that make you too afraid to post your own photos, even if it's a beginner, like a basic question, any questions or photos you want critique or comments on. That's what this group is here to do for all of you. So thank you, and keep it friendly as always.
Ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
Are there any pros to using lens hoods other than looking more pro and for glass protection? Does it significantly affect sun glares?
Looking
Yes.
more pro. I love that.
Although, yeah.
I mean, it's just, I would
the
say
lens-
it's for the lens flare.
Yeah, the lens hood on my, like, the 7200 style lens looks really pro. It looks good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does significantly protect you from glares if you're in that situation.
Do you have your lens hoods in your camera bag?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't used a lens hood in
I use the lens
years.
hood. The headshots that I've been doing, I use the lens hood on the 56. Like, I have to.
Huh.
Like, I will.
I'll just go like this.
Yeah, well, I don't want to look like a dweeb. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't use mine that much, but I mean, there are situations where I get a lens flare.
It depends on what you're doing. Like with wedding stuff, like I'll use it because I'm moving so quickly that I won't have time to block a flare. And there are other times where I want a flare, and I'll like purposely position myself to be in
get it.
get it. So I don't know. I use it so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I've had situations where I'm like, damn it, like there's a flare there that I can't take out, and I don't want it there.
Yeah.
But also make sure you have like a UV filter on your lens
That's for
that
protection,
protects
yeah.
it, because if you don't have a filter, the lens hood I guess could help protect it, but that's not what it's supposed to be for. So
Yeah.
make sure you're protecting the front glass on your lens with a actual little UV filter.
Definitely. What else?
What else we got? Good questions.
What would you consider the minimum gear requirements for night sky photography? Working with a D3300.
Ooh, good question.
Tripod
Tripod?
is
Not intervalometer.
Nope, Nikon's got built in.
Oh, okay. No, I'm a remote trigger.
Yeah, but you can do the timer.
Yeah, you could do a timer. Can you do the timer with like? What about bulb mode? If you want to do it like a custom.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
okay.
Sam!
I don't know, it depends, but like
Yeah.
minimum. Like if you want to go out and take a shot, you need a camera, a wide lens, and a tripod.
Yeah.
Do you need a wide lens?
Do you need a tripod?
God.
Do you need a camera?
I'm-
Should we even be taking photos when we're out looking up at the stars, guys? Just take those moments.
You could
to
get away
think
without a
about
tripod
life.
if you put it on a rock, but it's incredibly difficult.
You put it on
You don't
a
need a
rock.
wide lens. You could shoot something long, but like it just.
Yeah, last time when
Typically speaking.
we were out in Joshua Tree, Will got like these boulders. He was trying to prop up his camera. So dumb.
Got some amazing photos though.
I think I had those are some of the best night shots I've taken.
In terms of lenses,
You don't take night
though,
shots.
any types of lenses, like
Any types of lenses?
any good lenses, like
24 and wider.
24 and wider.
The lens I just got, I did some night shots in Sedona like a couple weeks ago, and like it was great. It was 16 to whatever.
Which is a 24.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask you guys for an update on your personal lives.
It's okay.
That's okay.
It's
We
fine.
don't-
It's
it's
fine.
fine. It's fine.
Only
It's
time you
fine.
get to hang out with your friends.
It's cool. It's
Who
fine.
cares?
It's
Yeah,
all right. Yeah.
Does Allie watch this?
I don't know. Sometimes.
Okay. Who? All right. Next question.
So lens hoods.
Oh.
Sure.
35 or 25
Oh, no,
wider
sky photography.
tripod.
Yeah. I'd say the tripods. I really think is the most important thing,
Yeah.
because you're gonna battle forever trying to like put the camera in a position to be still enough for over 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
And with the crop sensor lens, you're going to want something that's at least f4 or 2.8, ideally, to let more light in. Just so you're not doing 30-second exposures and getting like star shift, little trails.
So which macro lens would you recommend? Going back to the macro questions.
Okay, you answer that.
Is that on the Canon?
Anita.
Who asked about? Was that Paul asking about the shirt? I'm gonna check out your shirt order right now.
They said May 24th. This was about 6 weeks so far. Ooh, okay.
There's a Canon
lens?
40mm macro.
I don't know what camera system Anita's shooting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But getting into food photography, she's using her 35. So what would you recommend for a macro? I don't really use a macro lens very often. I don't shoot macro.
Yeah. I think for the most part though, I see a 40mm, a 60 something, and a 90 something for macros.
I have the for the Fuji. I have the 85.
85.
So just
They're
close
typically
to
a
the
bit more
90.
telephoto in focal length. for
Yeah.
those.
What was the one? The
Um,
one on the Nikon D800 that you had? It was a
105?
105.
105.
That one was pretty cool.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Macro, it does change in the focal length. If you have a wider macro lens, your depth of field is going to be slightly more because it's not as telephoto of a focal length. If you have a more telephoto lens, when you go macro, it's going to be hairpin accuracy.
It'll
So
be
you
more
have to
compressed.
stop down your f-stop more to let more be in focus. But what other lenses do you have, and how else could you use that lens? If you own a 35 now, maybe getting an 85 so you can also use that for portraits and also for your macro stuff. It's a dual purpose lens, and so getting something that you can use in both scenarios. But like if you have a 35, to buy a 40mm macro would be kind of pointless. Right? No?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Cool.
good answer.
All right, quickly. every month or every competition we do a participation prize. So we do like a random selection of someone to win a prize as an incentive for everyone to submit photos, even if you don't think yours is going to win. So I am opening up our little Appy app tool where we can actually pick. Let's see if this works.
Appy app tool.
Oh, no, not that one. And let's see. Okay, you guys can see the screen now. You can see us on the screen. So this is going to pick a winner out of all of the like 400 submissions of from the black and white photo competition. So, drum roll. I'm going to pick a winner. And our winner is Terry Swan.
Whoop, whoop. I think I saw Terry on here, no?
Terry Swan,
Ooh,
congrats.
wow.
Nice.
Solid photo.
Cool little black and white photo. You have won our participation prize.
That's great.
And yeah, we'll get that sent over to you, or we'll contact you and figure out how to get to your prize soon.
It's a nice watermark.
Yeah, nice little watermark. Looking good. Terry, congrats. All right, back to questions. And, well, yeah, I'm still looking into the Teespring order, Paul.
Paul. Poor Paul.
Poor Paul.
Which zoom lens do you recommend for night events?
Oof.
Canon 80D. I mean, the 24 to 70 2.8 is probably like the hero zoom lens on Canon. Right?
For events.
Yeah, but 70 to 200 for events.
Yeah, 24 to 70 is probably not that.
Yeah, but
Depending on where you're going to be standing.
What are you doing at your event? I mean, if you only have one and you're going into an event, you guys are going to take the 70 to 200 and not the 24 to 70. What if you have to get that wide shot of the group?
But it's a night event.
It doesn't matter about the same f-stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
For an event, it's good to, like, for an event, I would go in with a 24 to 70 and a 70 to 200. Those would be the two lenses that I take in, especially with Canon.
Yeah.
If you only had to pick one, 24 to 70.
Yeah.
My personal opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you allow posts that advertise other groups in Facebook?
Mm-mm.
No.
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 Thanks for asking, though.
Thanks for asking. Thanks for playing. I use lens hoods all the time. I know you just mentioned using UV filters, but if I spend close to 2K on a piece of lens, wouldn't it be counterproductive to put a piece of cheap glass in front of that technology?
No, not at all.
No, the UVs don't really take away from your wonderful glass that's behind it. It really just protects a rock from hitting your expensive glass that you just spent $2,000 on.
Granted, if you're going to get one and you have a pro or more pro level lens, getting a Tiffin or a B&W or what's the other one?
Schneider?
Hoya?
Hoya. That's what I
Hoya,
was thinking of.
yeah.
Hoya's really stepped up their game, I think. It's going to cost you a little under $100, but like you said, it's a $2,000 piece of lens, and
better to break that $100 or $10 UV front glass than your $2,000 lens, and you can replace that.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely happened to me before.
Yeah.
Or if you lose your lens cap.
it's there's no doubt in my mind having some sort of filter in front of your main piece of glass is worth it.
Thanks for the answer, guys. Hints for focusing night distance shots with telephoto lens.
Put your eye to the viewfinder and try and find something to focus on.
What we did in Joshua Tree when we did that night class, I think we had a powerful flashlight, or what I try to do is have a powerful flashlight.
Yeah.
Shoot the flashlight so you can see in your viewfinder, focus in your viewfinder on manual focus. Don't use autofocus, because as soon as you hit the timer or whatever, your camera's going to try and figure it out. So try that.
Yeah.
And for astrophotography, just set it to infinity, because...
Be careful with that.
Why? That's how I do
Because
that all the time, and it works out great.
Infinity doesn't always mean true infinity.
No.
You can, like on the Canon 24-70, you can go to infinity and you're actually past
You're past the
infinity.
infinite. This is deep.
Not to make
It's happened to me.
Okay.
Not to distract from everyone, but if you have ordered a shirt,
So this is like a short film.
Paul, just for people, I ordered a shirt for Jim Tipton, who was our top contributor last month, on April 16th. I believe the day before you ordered, and it just shipped last week. So check the first email that you get, and it should have a tracking option. And let me know what it says. Let's talk offline.
Anita says she's using.
Got a couple more minutes for questions.
Anita says she's using a Nikon, so those Nikon macros were.
There's it's an older lens, but the 105 macro. Although they call it micro. It's good.
Do you advise to use a variable ND filter for landscape? Does it have drawbacks in terms of sharpness, etc., or is it much better to use a normal one? I personally would always think for photography using using a normal one would be better, like just a single ND. But
if you're in the photography masterclass, no, did we show the variable ND? No, we were showing the.
No, I had the big stopper.
Yeah.
Because I use like a single piece of glass.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
optically it's better
for the single piece of glass.
Because the variable is 2 pieces of glass spinning,
so it's affecting the image somewhat.
It is, but I feel like it's so little that we would probably not just on a day-to-day basis. You probably won't notice, but I think if you really want to get to the minute specifics, like a single ND is going to be better.
I mean, I've done big prints, and I can't tell if there's any loss of detail. The one thing with some variables is that they can just keep spinning, and so you can get these sort of vignette effects on 2 corners, which can be annoying.
That is super annoying.
So if you buy a more expensive variable ND, it stops at the max and stops at the minimum. Cheaper ones will just keep spinning, and you can get these weird vignettes, and that's frustrating.
Hints for focusing telephoto night shots again of the D7200. Again, I think it's just looking through your eye. There is I guess now that I think about it, when I did do those infinite shots, I have a meter on my Fuji that shows when you go all the way past infinity, and I scoot it all the way back, so it's like 30 feet to infinity, and that's usually where I land. So you can kind of do it that way, but I don't know. Do you have any other tips for telephoto focusing at night?
I think brightening up your subject or whatever it is with a light of some sort, even if it's of a person, get them to just turn their flashlight or their phone light on themselves, so then you can focus and then just don't move and keep that distance. On your lens, it probably says distance, and you can sort of measure it out. It's tricky. I mean, it's a process to learn what works for you, and yeah.
Last question we have on here. I see a lot of specialty filter kits reviewed that look cool and have special effects, but I don't know their name, rep, like Tiffin. What about those, for example, all those square filters? Tiffin is probably the most recognizable company. I use the Big Stopper square filter on that thing.
They can't see
that. Yeah, I use the Big Stopper ND filter for my long-time day exposures on on basically an adapter that goes to my lens and holds those filters specifically. But Tiffin's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what
Hoya's good.
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff. They're expensive. That glass is not cheap.
Yeah, and when you get really into that, when you're doing color gradients and you're doing red filters and all that,
those are fun just to play with.
This is a horrible thing to say, but before you go out and buy an entire set, I would just on Lightroom sort of figure out how to do that.
Oh my god!
And just make sure that it's the look that you like. You like when you have a gradient of color. You like that you have a gradient of some sort, and you can see what the effect's going to be.
This brings up a good question, or good. We're going to end here, but we were talking about how in future live Q&As, it'd be good to do some comparisons between cameras or more educational things to show you about gear. But that would be a good comparison, is using a filter versus doing it in Lightroom. And could anyone really tell the difference?
Probably not. But
you would know.
But how? Yeah.
But you would know deep down when you're looking up at the stars.
Yeah.
Without your camera.
Do you want to put it in the microwave or cook it yourself?
All right.
You never microwave.
Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here over at Photography and Friends Studio. Will, Sam, thanks for being here. Everyone who's watching live, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you stay tuned in the group. We're going to be throwing some polls at you. One was about future competitions.
Future competitions.
One was about something else.
Bags of rice.
Bags of rice to choose. There was something else.
Something important.
We'll have to rewatch it.
If you were a winner from the competition, congrats. I'll be reaching out to you online, so check all your, messages, your Facebook messages, Udemy messages, where we'll be reaching out to get you your prizes. And we'll probably chat next month. We might take a break next month. I'll be in Hawaii for a couple weeks, so it might be a little bit crazy next month. So if we don't show up next month, we'll be back in July for sure. But hopefully we'll be running a competition in June to keep you guys occupied. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye. Love you guys. Girls, everyone. Bye.